Oh, not again, CNN. So we know from that Mueller indictment that some pro and anti-Trump rallies were organized by the Russians and that Americans unwittingly participated, meaning they went, but they didn't know Russians were behind the event. We know this. Again, that's according to the federal indictment. So in an act reminiscent of a certain 1950s Senate investigation, watch as this CNN reporter shows up at a Trump supporter's house and hounds her for promoting an event on Facebook that turns out was put on by the Russians.
They were not Russians. I don't go with the Russians.
That group was Russian.
I have nothing to do with the Russians.
Well, apparently you did.
No.
Maybe you didn't know it, but you did.
Those people that were with me were all Trump supporters. Very, very much so.
And all apparently following the direction of groups that were associated with Russians who were actually infiltrated.
BS. And please report that. I don't believe that. That's I know all the people that were with me, okay? They were at my meetings. They're all Trump supporters, okay?
Mm-hmm. But did you realize that you guys were in communication electronically with Russians?
Not me.
Oh my, what an Hey, bro, McCarthy, take it down a notch. Anyway, dude, your network, CNN, breathlessly covered the anti-Trump rallies that were held after the 2016 election. And guess who organized them? It wasn't Menudo. So instead of pointing fingers at the Russians who did all this, we're pointing fingers at each other, which is exactly what the Russians want. I just wish Russia would spend less time in our business and more time keeping their tanks upright. I'm not too worried about the Russians. Colonel West, shouldn't CNN need to go on when you get too involved in work, you need to go take a, what do you call a sabbatical?
Yeah.
Shouldn't the entire network take a sabbatical, go on a Carnival cruise?
Yeah. One of those Carnival cruises where the engine, goes kaput and they're just stuck out at sea. And we should not send any resources or anything to get them back in. Just leave them out there.
God.
It's so interesting to me listening to this because the person that organizes these women's marches by the name of Linda Sarsour.
Of course.
Linda Sarsour called for jihad against the White House.
Right.
But nothing is said about that. Or the fact that the only people that have done any collusion, any ties with the Russians, Christopher Steele, Fusion GPS, Bruce Orr, Hillary Clinton's campaign, and the DNC. But yet they want to go and harass some lady out there.
It's incredible. Okay, Kat, I know this. You hate this guy. Well, you don't know him. Maybe you'd get to know him and you might like him. I'm thinking a new show called Ambush with CNN. They just show up at a citizen's house and they chastise them on recycling and a non-electric car, and maybe it has a Trump bumper sticker.
Right. Leave the little old lady trying to use the internet alone. Earlier that day, she probably got all excited because she had a pop-up on her computer tell her she won a free cruise to Aruba. She probably actually reprised those emails like, "Oh, honey, I have a rich relative in West Africa. He said he's going to send me $1 million. All I have to do is put in all my checking information." She's very old and very nice, and at least she knows how to use the internet, which a lot of grandmas don't. Give her a break. Leave her alone.
All right. Bree, again, I think this could be a good TV show. Brian Stelter, who is the nation's hall monitor, could host it. We go now to, I don't know, Allentown, Pennsylvania, where we believe somebody is watching porn.
Usually the things that bother you most in other people are things that are problems with yourself.
Yes.
And in this case, so as you pointed out earlier, CNN was the one that was pushing the, Russia fake news troll mob stuff that they wanted to do. And then they find this one lady who's did the same thing that they did to a way lesser degree, and they're going wild and chasing after her.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, CNN is totally fine with licking Putin's boots, because I agree with you that this is what Russia wants. Russia wants us to question our electoral system and question one another and go after one another like that. And I think that they're completely happy to lick Putin's boots if it means that they get to throw a cheap shot at Trump supporters.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Tyrus, last word to you.
I wish he would have came to my door. So let me see if I got this straight. This breaking news was to her and her 5 friends who were playing cribbage and decided to go online and fill out a survey saying that they supported the candidate Trump at the time.
Yeah.
That's your story.
Yeah.
Does it really matter where it came from?
Yeah.
They were. Go call Facebook. How could you let this happen? These women are playing cribbage or canasta, whatever they do. And you allowed Russians to send information to the community. Go after Facebook.
Yeah.
Go after Google. Don't after the people that they saw information that they supported and that they believed in and was provided, because Russia was on everybody's team.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Everybody's team. They were sending all kinds of stuff out. So he probably belonged to something. Probably that online dating app he was on before he got there was probably by them. So he ain't so clean either.
Yeah.
I guarantee. Let's check your computer history, bruh.
Yeah.
Bet there'd be some breaking news in there.
Good point. Also, would be funny just to film people showing up at your house, Tyrus. I would like that show. Anyway.
I mean, I'm gonna welcome you in. Come on in, have a seat.
Yes.
Sign here. Thank you so much. All right, head or gut.
Up next, don't miss our Winter Olympics roundup. You snooze, you lose.